What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. Today we've got a wild market watch for you guys, but first, Toys R Us was supposed to start their liquidation sales today, and a lot of you guys might have come up to this sign, and they're saying they're gonna start tomorrow, but they sound unsure of themselves. I guess a failing company can't even do their going out sale right. But seriously, it's interesting to see this, but I'll try to keep you guys up to date on when that happens if I post a market watch the same day as the new sales start. So do keep in mind, it's supposed to start tomorrow. You might want to try checking it out tomorrow. Hopefully you don't walk up to this sign again. But today in market review, we've got Sci-Frame Gear Gamma from the special editions, and it's starting out at $6. This isn't really alarming. A lot of pre-salers try to do this because that's about the price they get the product for. So ripping that open, they've got another free promo and 3 free packs if they sell this to you at around $6. That's why you see all these card shops with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands sales on TCG Player, selling at this price already and holding the line together. I believe OTS stores are allowed to sell it today, and then everybody's allowed to sell it tomorrow for the special editions, if I'm not mistaken. This price isn't too alarming. We already see it down on eBay at $5, and history has taught us about special editions before, but maybe it's taught us a strong enough lesson that we're not going to get that good of a price on Gamma going forward. Solemn Strike is a card everybody wanted playsets of. It went down from $5 to $3 if you recall, and then over just the course of a month started to shift back up like crazy. It went to $6, and then it's a solid almost $8 to $9 right now. We actually see it a little cheaper from Canada, but then quickly going up with just a few copies being sold cheaply right now. So my advice on Sci-Frame Gear Gamma, I would try at locals to get a playset for around $10 if you can. In trade, maybe $12, but definitely it's something you want to get sooner than later and not waste your time getting, but you don't want to get overcharged at the same time. It's basically, do you have the time and resources to trade towards them or not? It's definitely going to fall back into favor over time, in my opinion. Like, there's going to be formats where this is good, where you need to activate your field spells and can't get ashed. This card also dodges the new quick play that hits hand traps that's coming out of the special edition as well, so it's kind of like one of the hand traps that does happen to dodge that one. It's a lot to consider with Gamma and how formats can shift and how that, like, rock, paper, scissors of hand traps might end up going overall in the future. Soul Transition. This is a weird one to me. This is a weird buyout. The only deck that comes to mind with Soul Transition that's ever been successful is Klee, but it does work with tributing monsters. So I think people are thinking along the lines of the Dark Structure deck coming out, Layer of Dankness, and it's quickly spiked up, $7, $7.35. Basically anything with the word tribute in it seems to have this kind of a flow. I just don't see it being that good because you're gonna have to wait for their turn. Your field spell's gonna have to stay up. Like, if the Dark Structure was really going to be impactful, hey, Trunade becomes an impactful card, and then it's just going to wipe out all the shenanigans that realistically the Dark Structure deck has going for it back row wise, and the monsters are very, very easy to take care of. So in my opinion, it's just not worth it. I would stay away from it. I don't think this is going many places, but it is cute, and I can see why they're doing it a little bit. Klee's obviously not doing much, so I have to assume this is more towards the Dark Structure deck hype. And you also still have to control no special summon monsters to turn on this effect. So you basically have to be in a vulnerable position in the first place to be pulling this off, and then you have to tribute a face-up level 4 normal summon / set monster. So you can't be hitting link monsters. It has to be specifically for, like, I'm just not feeling or seeing this one being a realistic thing, in my opinion. But what do you guys in the comment section down below think? And is John just not not giving the potential to this special baby of a card. I really don't know, and I'm again just not feeling it at all. Mezuki, this is an interesting one. One of my fans hit me up about some zombie cards and noticed Mezuki had been bought out. This happens again and again and again, I feel like. The near mints, lowest 21, 23, 25, and then on eBay there's only the 4-in-1s left here. German near mint at 20 and 23, and then if this shipping wasn't hell from Australia, this Italian one would be kind of appealing because it's my favorite language. But these prices are pretty high. There might be speculation because the TCG is upping the slots to 12 for TCG exclusives. The Vampire deck is also coming. I think it's an alright deck, actually. I think it's pretty good. So the highest rarity of Mezuki has a few speculations on why it could have been bought out. Goblin Zombie similarly on TCG Player. The first editions are a low of 15, but this got hyped when Link Summoning was a thing. Firewall being able to summon this and get free resources whenever things would leave its like pointer zone. And then also Skull Dread being able to special from hand. You continue Link Summoning, bring something back with Mezuki, and you get stuff to the field. It was pretty nice with considerations like that, but it's not the fastest card, and we see first eds over here on eBay a whole 33% off comparatively, $10, $11, etc., before it does quickly climb back and meet it. It's just people actually want to sell this card, but there are so few quantities on market as well. It's interesting to see this kind of thing happen with zombies. Do you think this is actually because of the Vampire deck, or Bin Dread speculation, or the combination of like, this is a safe investment? Both are coming. In my opinion, Mezuki's usually safe. It'll creep back down, and it always seems to get bought back to the point of 20 these days. Goblin Zombie's a little more interesting to me. It's a little more specific, and it's good. It's just, I don't know about that one, Kev. And again, there's way cheaper options on both these cards. It's not like I'm trying to say all Mezukis and Goblin Zombies are this much. There's so many versions of Mezuki. It's crazy. And the Goblin Zombie commons are about, I want to say, $1 as well. Let's check in with both real quick for you guys. Let's see here. The commons actually at that's DT, $2, which is actually a really nice rarity of it if you want something that's not the secret, but it's old school DT. And yeah, the commons, 82 cents. We go through some dollar ones. So yeah, relatively easy to get yourself other versions, and even a nice version of Goblin Zombie. And if we come through for Mezuki's, we have DUSA Ultra Rare. Some of you guys like it, some of you guys don't. I'm personally a fan. But we have all sorts of versions of Mezuki's at low prices comparatively. Something to note is the Secret Rares variants of the promo cards were actually relatively hard to get. The USA, they were all short printed apparently, and Dragon Revival Rhapsody Secret Rare is going for a pretty penny. So maybe it's something you packed that you actually didn't know was worth something. Don't just give it away for free. Actually make a trade for it, because I would have got on this. I packed the promo. Oh, this sucks. No, actually it's a pretty good price for this card. So just something to be aware of as you're packing Kaiba collections, if you still manage to find one, or have one sitting around in the cards you pulled thinking, you know, this was just extra. Well, it's a nice little extra, it turns out. Or if you're fully hollowing out your Blue Eyes deck, you might be paying a little more than you first thought if you're going for this over the promo. In today's random DR4 buyout, Drillroid. This was a cute tech once upon a time in a very niche part, I feel, of GOAT format. It's definitely not worth the market price. People basically went through DR4, saw, oh look, free supers from DR4, and bought it out to the tune of a really high price, and now it's going to be hard to get for a while. I don't know where it'll creep back down to or when. The people who bought it out aren't going to let it go for, I would think, too low of a price point. This is kind of one of those calculated buyouts you see. I don't think it'll recover ever to below the $5 point. Realistically, because they're not going to be printed again, and it seems to have been just mass bought out on multiple platforms. So you might want to look around and try to figure out a way to get a cheap one if you're a collector and you for some reason held off on this card. It is a cute, nice looking super rare from DR4, and that's about the only point. It's not because it was actually relevant in GOAT format. Now, speaking of special editions, Electromite is dropping like a rock all the way down to 50. I didn't see this one coming, $50 before the special edition. People are scared of the ban list looming as well, but what's also surprising is how well the Mech Knights and Mythical Beast Cerebus are hanging in there at their prices. I expect these to drop just a little bit, maybe towards $15 for the Mech Knights, maybe towards $13 to $14 for Cerebus, but they're really hanging around, and it surprises me a bit, but this has been one of the decks I've really enjoyed playing on Dueling Book and being around on Dueling Book. So it feels like the TCG player meta is feeling the price drops a little more, but you see them starting to get low on eBay as well. So it's really up to you what you want to kind of go for as the special edition comes out, because usually the prices drop a bit, they stabilize, and then they're going to go their ways that they usually would go from there. Hey, Trunade might actually be a good one to pick up, as we said. If things get back row heavy, if control decks are a thing, Hey, Trunade's something you might want to have, and it's only at $7 right now. That's a pretty nice look, and it might go all the way down to $5 thanks to the special editions and the quantities rising. But realistically, if you want first eds, if you're a slave to that little stamp, or if you want unlimiteds, that's all you and what you want to do with that. So thanks for watching today's Market Watch. What did you guys think of it? Some crazy things going on, some kind of passive things going on that have been going on for a while, like Mezuki, but buyouts everywhere seems to be the season. There's just so much every day. But I appreciate y'all being here, and you know, it's crazy out here. So try to be safe while shopping at Toys R Us, and don't get too upset if you get there and the sale's not going on. It's definitely like, it's gonna happen when it happens, but you want to be there. I know the feeling.